Dr. Craig Gilbert, Director of Music and Worship at Sugar Land First United Methodist Church. I'm also the chair of the Passionate Worship Committee, and you're on Passionate Worship TX channel. And we are glad that you're here to take a look at some of the videos that we have to offer. Today, I just want to talk to you for just a minute about those of us who have to do more than one worship style in a particular church. You know, do you ever feel like this on Sunday morning? You got your tie on, you got an organ because it's traditional service, but then you still got to wear the guitar or whatever it is your instrument is for the contemporary service. Maybe you're either a contemporary worship leader or a traditional worship leader who the church has come to you and said, hey, we want another service. And you are just going, oh no, how do I do that? You know, there's a lot more of us than you would think that do multiple services and multiple styles, with the same leader being responsible for choosing the music, planning the groups, rehearsing the groups, putting the worship together. There's many more of us than you might think. So much so that I'm even talking about that at a conference coming up. This is not something to be afraid of. This is something to celebrate. This is not something to gripe about. This is something to enjoy. You know, for those of us who enjoy 2 or 3 different kinds of music, being able to celebrate all those musical styles in worship is really a blessing. The biggest challenge to being a multi-style music director is the language. It's the skill set. You know, if you're a traditional choir director and someone has asked you to lead a contemporary worship service, you may be saying to yourself, I don't speak their language. I don't play guitar. I play piano. Will that be? Absolutely, that's okay. But you have to kind of learn to speak the language. You have to learn to sit down with people and kind of see where they're coming from. I know several contemporary churches that have predominantly contemporary worship in our conference who are now starting to look at traditional worship. They want a choir. They want hymns. And I know that some of these guys who play guitar really well, when the church came to them and said, hey, we want you to direct a choir too, kind of went, okay, I'm not real sure I know how to do that. And they may be exactly right, because these two skill sets can be very different, and they really do speak 2 different languages. I'm going to set this guitar down because I want to put my teacher hat on for just a second. As much as I love doing what I do, which is leading worship in 2 different styles, and really almost 3 different styles, and I've been doing this a long time, I want to address the legitimate challenges that come with doing this type of work. First of all, let me tell you that it is very doable, regardless of what style you originate in. So let me give you just 3 quick points to get you started. First of all, know where your comfort zone is and own it. Don't be worried about it. Don't be worried about the fact if you're a contemporary person and now you have to work in traditional with a choir, or if you're a choral director and now you have to work with a band. Don't worry about that. First of all, own who you are and be proud of it and enjoy it. Don't let that worry you right off the bat. The second thing is, you have to learn to love both styles equally. You cannot do this if you're going to always have a favorite. Think of it the same way a parent does children. You have now had another child, and that child is completely different than the child who came before. And while you may have loved that first child and nurtured that first child, and maybe that first child was just like you, I guarantee you the second child will not be. But yet you love that child, and you learn to speak that child's language, and you learn to interact with that child because you love that child. You have to approach multiple styles the exact same way. You can't favor one over the other because they know. They know. And you'll never be able to live with that, and they won't be able to live with that. So the second thing, own who you are. And don't be embarrassed or try to make apologies for that. But at the same time, love both your styles, or 3 styles, or 4 styles. Love them all equally. You have to do that and be authentic, or else you cannot do this job. And then last but not least, learn. Don't assume that you already know all of this stuff. You've got to learn. I'm constantly learning. I have all the experience and background and education that I have, yet I'm constantly learning new things about being a choral director or about being a praise band leader. I'm constantly learning, and I'm always surrounding myself with people who are really good at what they do, because they help me stay on track when I have that Sunday morning when the band rehearsal didn't go so well and I have to walk out of this room and run into the choir room to rehearse the choir. I have people in there who are already starting to shape me and mold me and bring me back to that side of the aisle so that I can start thinking like a choir director again. But yet when I leave that group, I walk back to my band and I've got people there who are shaping me and helping me get my head back into that so that I'm capable of moving back and forth. These people really love me and they help me do that. But I continually learn about both styles and try to do both of them to the best of my ability. Okay, so let me just give you 3 things. Those are the 3 things. Let me sum them up for you. Number 1, be who you are. Own it. Don't worry about it. Don't be ashamed about it. Don't lord it over other people about how, you're all trained or you've been playing guitar your whole life. Whatever that is. Don't do that. Just be who you are and understand that they speak a different language, they have a different way of communicating, and you can learn that. So be who you are, own it. Number 2, love them both equally. Love all of them equally. You cannot secretly like hymns better than praise songs or secretly like praise songs better than hymns, especially in this day and age. I guarantee you'll put it on Facebook, you'll put it on Twitter, somebody will know. You have to love them both the same. Remember, 2 kids, completely different personalities, but they both belong to you. You have to love them the same way that God loves each and every one of us. And then last but not least, learn. Whether it's surround yourself with people who know how to do it and trust them and empower them to do the job, or even if you do that, continue to learn, because you've got to be able to communicate what you want. So learn. If it means going back to school, fine. If it means taking guitar lessons, fine. If it means if you're an accomplished pianist, but you only read music and you can't play by ear and you've got to go learn from somebody else, fine. Do it. Learn what you need to learn and embrace it. The most important thing to understand is that this is not about music. This is about communication. This is about an opportunity for your congregation to worship God in the voice that they feel most comfortable with, in the voice that they can express to God their love. And some people can do that with hymns. Other people can do that with praise music. Other people do that with prayer. They do it in a lot of different ways. Just understand, this is not about you. It's not about the music. It's about the people of God coming together and being able to worship God in a way that expresses who they are before God. So take all of this, do the best you can with it. I'll promise I'll put another video up on this, and I'll give you 3 more maybe to help you do it. But most of all, just understand, if they want you to do more than one style, it's not the end of the world. It's a new opportunity. So until next time, Dr. Craig Gilbert, and a pleasure having you here with us at the Passionate Worship TX YouTube channel.